Good morning, good morning, good afternoon, hello, good evening, depending on where you are today. Ooh, my screen looks funny. Good morning. There we go. It's a lot clearer. Uh, it's been interesting these last couple of days. Let me say now in advance as I welcome you to Kingdom Fundraisers Live. I am Pastor Willie, your host, and I'm so glad to join you every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time as we talk about fundraising opportunities, possibilities, answer your questions, and all of those things as it relates to Kingdom Fundraisers. Why do we call it Kingdom Fundraisers? Well, several years ago, we began live every Tuesday, excuse me, every Friday with what we used to call the TGIFF. Thank God it's Faith Fridays program, where we really basically offered the same type of help and information for you. And we began that several years ago, and we decided because of in 2022 I had surgery, so we began to back off. I was off being online for many of my live programs, including church at that time. So I was off for quite some time, but and so we never did kick it back off. But now, a couple of weeks ago, God led me to the name King Fundraisers, because I've been talking to so many of you all, and many of you all are in the faith-based community. And so we just wanted to make sure we launch and come back to what we call the live opportunity, where we can answer your questions weekly. There are so many great things that's coming your way. We're getting ready to launch an opportunity for you to become members of our Kingdom Fundraisers Network. I'll explain a little bit more about that before we shut down today. But there are so many wonderful things to do. And I just want to give you a heads up outside that window there. They're cutting our grass. I may look at opportunities in different times, because they cut my grass usually at about 10, 11 in the morning. But lately, last couple of weeks, they're cutting my grass. Yeah, they're cutting my grass right at the same time we launch live. So, you may see somebody in the window. You may hear the lawnmower. I'm sorry, but I'm going to journey on to try to get some things answered. So again, this is Kingdom Fundraisers Live. We come to you every Friday. We come at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. It is recorded live on both of my Facebook channels, as well as my my YouTube channel, which you can go to YouTube, Ask Pastor Willie, and you can join or become a subscriber of the YouTube channel, which allows you to watch all of the recordings and get this great information on a weekly basis for what we call Kingdom Fundraisers. And if you're asking questions, if you're writing me and you're looking for specific questions to be answered, well, guess what? You can go right there and get them. I want to tell you, I am not going to hold back on information. And the reason why I'm not going to hold back on information, because many of you call me anyway, and you're asking me questions about how to get grants, how to get funding, how do I apply for this, and how do I apply for that. And so for every week that we're here, we want to deal with specifics, and some of them are specific topics. And so that's the goal here. Now, listen. As you notice today, my topic is, excuse me, all of a sudden I want to choke. I don't know, why am I trying to choke? my topic today is steps to qualifying for funding, or actually, it's what does it take for you to get funding? Now, we're beginning and we're launching a series on that question today, because there's so many answers that really you all need. It's not just one answer to that question. And we're going to be talking about research, organizational readiness. We're going to be talking about how to write a strong grant proposal or funding opportunity for you. How about supporting documents that you need? That was kind of what I was going to do today, but I really need to begin by answering that question. And so we're going to start today there. So there are a lot of topics that we want to answer for you. The legal questions, those type of things, financial documents that you need. How about your organizational information? Part of that is even in our 5 R's for Successful Fundraising guide that you can get online through our webpage, WePete Inc. WePete Inc. That's WePete Inc.com. And you can download that 5 R's for Successful Fundraising, which helps get some information on how to get things off the ground. We'll be launching and we'll be releasing our actual book on how we help you fundraise, how to get more grants, how to get funding opportunity. That book is entitled Startup to Sustainability, How to Get Your Vision Off of the Paper and Onto the Pavement, which is a resource guide. And it's really a follow-up of my original book, which is called Taxes and Tides, It's Your Money. And you can find that book on Amazon. You can actually order that one. That was written in 2006. But think about this. Between 2006 and 2024, almost 20 years later, there are an awful lot of changes or additions to what we wrote about way back then when we began. Yes, I have been doing this ever since that time, back when President Clinton and first President Bush were in office. We began to talk about this faith-based initiative, how to get funding for organizations. And we had at that time a program that we called Pathway Partner Group. And that Pathway Partner Group, we began to work with organizations around the Youngstown, Ohio area, directly within our area. And we were working to help each one of them or train them on how to get grants, how to get funding, how to get your organizations ready to be able to launch and to be able to partner. We had a grant back then with the Department of Jobs and Family Services in Ohio that funded 12 of our organizations that were actually faith-based or churches, that we started off with a summer program called Keys. That Keys, Keep Educating Youth All Seasons. We still have a format of that program that we're launching here in Florida. We got funded for well over $200,000 in our first year of that program. And we kept that program going on down through the years. And so we would partner with these organizations so that we know when each one of them were ready to get their own funding, we made sure that we had documents and things ready and they had what they needed to be able to go forward. And that's how I began really launched that book, because at that time I was doing some traveling and going around with the Southern Baptist Convention, the Full Gospel Convention. At that time, I was partnering with the New Birth Church in Atlanta when they were doing a project for all of the ministers. And so we would provide training. And at that time, I was using notebooks. I was using, I would go to the printer and print out sheets. And at that time, Bishop Eddie Long said to me, why don't you just put it together, write a book? And that's what I did. And that's how the Taxes and Tides, It's Your Money book became available to everyone all the way back in 2006. Fast forward to today, I have been training and teaching nonprofit leadership management, even at the college level, where at the Youngstown State University, for 12 years, I taught in the social work department, which were really the social work majors, those things that the social workers needed in order to get qualified for social work. Here comes that guy. So you'll hear him outside. I'm sorry. To help them qualify for their social work degree. We talked about social work with families, organizations, communities, individuals. We did cultural diversity. So we had a lot of things to help build this momentum on helping you get the funding you need or answer the questions that you need answered. And so don't forget, log on, go to my Facebook page. It's posted right here. Go to my webpage, download the book, or email me right there on the webpage. Guess what? You can actually click on the button, download a free guide, the 10 mistakes that most fundraisers make. You can get that free guide, but you can also schedule a call with me. Get yourself a 30-minute call with me where you can directly ask me questions, and we can hook you up and try to help get you where you want to go. We had a webinar months ago, a year or so ago, called Get More Grants Now, or Get Your Grants Now. And we're leaning on going back toward that through Kingdom Fundraisers and how to help you get more grants now, or really we're looking at it as grant funding 101, something to that effect, because we know that you all have questions, legitimate questions. And watch this, that breakdown I just gave you about who I am and what I do. Perfectly, when you look and research, you can see that we've done those things. Again, I've done it on the college level. I've done it directly because we ran our own nonprofit. And as a pastor, I understand the need that pastors have. In fact, in both these guides, the 2006 version and the new version, how to get your vision off paper and onto the pavement. We have a chapter called Pastor, Just Be the Pastor, where we recommend you to find someone in your organization, and they're there. Most of our organizations have somebody that's really interested in the community, whether they're running for elective office or they just want to learn more about what's going on. They go to city council meetings. Ella and I did that literally last night. Went to city council meeting with the organization here that we're working with here in Florida. And our goal is that because we're now, specifically, I am now no longer in the pulpit on a regular basis. My gifting and my calling in this community development type of organization movement, I'm now partnering with them. And my goal is to go to council meetings in Melbourne, Florida, Palm Bay, Florida, and surrounding areas to know what the government is offering. Because when they're offering, when they have grants available, and on that agenda yesterday, there was a offer on the agenda that they were going to approve for the immediate need to be able to provide some funding for an organization to help youth. That's where you go get this information. And again, I'm giving you some things on helping you get ready for your grant. Go to these meetings. Don't just sit back, go online and hope you can be funded. Go find out where the money is at. They're telling you what they're about to do. And if they're telling you what they're about to do, one of the things you want to do is make sure you go to these meetings, look at the agenda, and then have conversation with these council people, specifically the ones in your ward. Here we have a vice mayor in both Melbourne and Florida. Get to know those individuals. Get to know your council person. Why? Because they can tell you where the funding is at for your area. And now, when you know what's available, now your next step is to do what? Qualify for that funding. Hello, somebody. That's what we want to make sure you do, is qualify for that funding. Does that make sense? You want to do that. And so how do we help you today? I want to answer, and this part may bore some of you, but I hope not, because I want to answer this question. Why is it so important to qualify for funding? Why is it important for you to qualify? Let me take it back to something I said last week. If you go to the bank or the credit union for a loan, there are several things that they want you to have in place. One of them is, do you have money in that institution? I say that because a lot of people talk to me about getting funding and they want me to write myself into their grant to get paid. Well, just like a bank or just like a credit union needs some skin in the game, it's important for you to know that the person you want to write these fundings for you should be able to have some form of payment deposit for them so that they can go to work. Why? Because all grants are not approved. I don't care how good we are. All grants are not approved. And depending on how you qualify, how long you've been in business, think about this term, the good old boy network. Many of them get funded over and over and over again because they have been in this game long enough to win the championship. It's no different than sports. You look at the Olympics going on. These people have been working and exercising and practicing and getting ready for the game. We need to do the same thing as fundraisers, grant seekers. We need to prepare ourselves for the game so that when the RFP which is a request for proposal, or when the NOFA, which is a notice of funding available, here yesterday, I think they called it a release for fund information, RFI, releasing fund information so they can send out the information and you respond to whatever federal, state, local, foundation, banks, or organizations. All of them have some kind of form that you need to fill out in order to qualify for their funding. So that's why it's so important for me to help you understand the reason why it's important for you to qualify. Is the one reason, and maybe the first reason, it maximizes your chances for success. So the first thing I want you to understand that it's a competitive grant environment out there. The grants, the landscape is highly competitive. There are a lot of people looking for the same money you are. So by ensuring your organization qualifies, you significantly can be successfully and increase your likelihood of receiving that funding. So funders are more likely to invest in an organization that meets their specific criteria or that you demonstrate readiness and your capacity. You understand? If you're capable, I say capacity, if you're capable, let me do that. If you're capable, if you can demonstrate you're ready and you have the answers to their questions, guess what? You go to the top of the line. Another thing that why it's important for you to qualify for funding, and I'll say pre-qualify or qualify, it builds credibility and trust. Demonstrating organization competence, what that does, it qualifies the funders, it qualifying you, and it shows the funder that your organization is well managed. Ain't that's important, right? With clear goals or proper financial oversight and effective programming. Now, if you're new and your program has not been launched yet, then it's even more important to have all the other things in place to be able to show a funder, I can do this. This is what I'm going to do for you. Watch this tidbit here. Most funders fund organizations that match what they want. Now, we, Pete Inc. and the Kingdom Fundraisers, what we try to do is assess your organization so that we can match your organization's vision with the right funder so that can create for you a consistent cash flow. But you have to have everything in a row. So if what you want to do matches what what a funder wants to fund, now we are matching you together to get your consistent cash flow. And that's why it's important to, to demonstrate that your organization is competent. And it also helps establish long-term relationships. Does that make sense? See, when you're consistently meeting funders' requirements, those things can help establish long-term relationships with your funders. And it leads to recurring support and potential for increasing funding for you in the future. Example, well, there are funders who have their funding available. But usually by the end of the year, let's say November, December, many of those organizations have excess funds because some organizations didn't use all their money or whatever. If you have the right relationship with that funder, they're emailing you, letting you know what's available. Come on, somebody. They're letting you know in advance, for example, Giving Tuesday, which is around the Thanksgiving time. When there are funders, when people are looking to raise money, and that Tuesday after Black Friday, it's a day of fundraising. So it's a good day to have a relationship with funders and people and to build your capacity of email list and all of the other things. Now you can reach out to them people and they can help you raise funds that you need. Establishing long-term relationships. How about ensuring, the reason why it's important, to ensure strategic alignment. You want to align your mission and your goals. And by qualifying for funding, you're ensuring that your funding opportunities align with your organization missions and goals. I like to tell people, chase your vision, not the money. Why do we say that? I'm glad you asked. So if you're chasing your vision, and again, there are organizations out there that will match your vision with theirs and fund your opportunity. But if you're chasing money just because it's out there, oftentimes it really doesn't align with the mission of your organization. one of the main things we'll be talking about that your mission, your vision, and your goals. We'll be talking about doing a logic model in a few series of these live events. We're going to talk about a logic model. You can Google it and find out what it is. And a logic model helps you align your mission with your goals so that when you're going after money, you know specifically. If you're doing youth programming, you don't want to write an organization that's doing health unless you're doing a health program for your youth or a mental health program for your youth. There are ways to look at a funder what they're giving money for, but how does that align for what you're trying to do? Okay. It also helps focus your resources, your resource allocation. So qualifying for the right funding opportunities allow your organization to focus its resources on projects that are more likely to receive support and ensuring efficient use of time and effort. So that way you're aligning your money, the income of your money, with what you're planning on doing. And then when you're doing your budget, you're more likely to budget things that are necessary for that goal. How about enhancing organizational capacity? The reason why you want to qualify, you want to make sure you're qualifying because it enhances your organization's capacity. Why? It strengthens your internal process. The process of qualifying for funding, what does it do? I'm glad you asked that one too. It requires organizations to evaluate and improve their internal processes. It includes financial management, program evaluation. How about strategic planning? How many of you all have actually did a strategic plan in both of my books? In fact, all three, the original one, the 5 R's for successful fundraising, the startup to sustainability, all of them have a section that talks about strategic planning. If you've not done that, it's a good time to begin to sit down and start that plan. What does it look like? Get one of those materials and you can see an outline in all of them, how to organize your strategic plan. I recommend having someone come in and help you do that because this strengthens your overall organization capacity. It fosters organizational growth. When you're enhancing your capacity, it fosters organizational growth. Secure grant funding can provide the necessary resources for organizational growth. So when you're securing the funding, it helps you grow. It allows you to expand your program. It allows you to hire staff. It increases your impact within that community. So being qualified, getting yourself ready for organizational growth is very important because, again, doing that allows you to expand your program. That's what we all want to do. We want funding to help us grow. If we're having a program that serves 20 youth, we want to make sure one day we can service 30 or 40. Maybe 20 is your max, but still, then you want to make sure you're looking at how we can best serve 20 people. How about meeting a funder's requirement? That's number 5 of why we should qualify or what the steps to qualify. Meeting the funder's requirements, very important. I just said that a funder wants to fund things that they're interested in. When you look at an organization, a government, they tell you who they want to fund and why they want to do so. You want to match their requirements. Compliance and accountability are very important. Compliance and accountability. You want to comply with what they ask for. If they ask for a quarterly report, you want to do that. You also want to be accountable on the reports to what you're doing. Qualifying for funding ensures your organization can comply with their requirements, such as reporting, evaluation. How about your financial accountability? Are you spending the money that they gave you for the right reason? You know, oftentimes we'll have some excess in our budget. We want to move it to a different line item. You don't just do that because you see there's extra money. Let me tell you, you can get in a lot of trouble for that. What you want to do is, maybe not a lot of trouble. Sometimes the funder won't fund you next year because you didn't follow or wasn't compliance to what they ask you to do. If there's a line item change you want to make, just call or write the funder and ask them to help you do that. Meeting their requirements also gives you sustainability and continuity. By consistently qualifying for funding, your organization can maintain financial stability and ensure the continuity of your important program, your important services. which benefits the community that you serve. And then this last one for today is leveraging funding for greater impact, applying your reach, leveraging your funding for a greater impact. It's amplifying your reach. I said applying, it's amplifying your reach. Secure funding allows your organization to expand its reach and impact. How? Implementing larger or even a more ambitious project that can help create significant positive change. And then your collaboration opportunities. Opening the doors for collaborating with other organizations can also expand your reach, which is what we want to do. So I just given you today like 6 steps that you can use that's important in help understanding qualifying or the steps for qualifying for funding, right? It's critical for maximizing your chances for success, building your capacity, your trust, ensuring strategic alignment, enhancing your organization's capacity, meeting the funded requirements, and leveraging your funding for your greater impact. Those things are important, y'all. These factors collectively contribute to the sustainability and the growth of your organization, and it enables you to fulfill your mission successfully. Now, I don't know about you, but I believe that's what most of us want to do. So this first in the series, next week, we're going to come back and we're going to come back and we're going to help you talk. We're going to talk about identifying funding needs in week 2 of this series of steps for qualifying for funding. Again, each week I want to do so. Now remember, email me, text me, DM me on Facebook, connect to my webpage, schedule a time so we can talk about it one-on-one. And get ready for the launch. We're getting ready to launch again an opportunity for you to become a partner or at least be a part of our Kingdom Fundraisers Network. And we're going to do that at about a 66% discount of what we've been normally do. That will allow you to have a multiple opportunity. We'll be doing these live like this 3 weeks. The 4th week, we'll do them together. You'll be able to come on live. We'll do, a webinar type of organization or opportunity, should I say. So I want you to be prepared. Let's come together. Let's talk about what you need and how we can help you become a successful grant writer, fundraiser, grant seeker, whichever your goal is. We'll train you and help you become a grant writer, or at least know what your grant writer wants and want them to do. We'll help you become a fundraiser. There are so many fundraising opportunities out here. I'm here to tell you. Many of you all see the grants, but how can I help you get those grants? Are you ready for that? Is that what you want? Your organization wants to get more grants to grow your business? And then grant seekers. There are some people that just want to learn how to do the research. There's great investment, earning potential in grant research. So again, thank you for joining me for this week's Kingdom Fundraiser Live. I'm Pastor Willie, and I'm here to help you become the great fundraiser, grant writer, or grant seeker that you called to be. God bless you. See you next week.